Hey there, so today we have another review, and this is a beer courtesy of Corey. By the way, I opened up his box, thank you so much for the box, and I did an unboxing, but unfortunately I found this on the bottom of it, and he sent a nice little letter. Thanks for getting back to me, allowing me to share some beers. I've included the beers that I listed, and then I hope you enjoy these South Carolina offerings, and thanks again for all of the content that you put up. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Corey. Awesome, really nice letter, appreciate it. But it is time to review another beer for Saison Week. This is Birds Fly South with Halfway Crooks, and this is Boyd's. Mixed Culture Saison with Azacca hops, a really pretty label on that, white label. This is a house Saison with Bird's yeast, and then and this is Funky Brett is balanced with bright notes of lemon, prickly effervescence, and this is like 2 on sour out of 5, 3.5 on dry. And then bitter is 2 out of 5, 6%. Beautiful. And again, you guys can check this one out. I really like that kind of like gradient of giving your guests like sort of like what they can expect out of a beer, right? Because what do they know to expect? Is it, how sour is it going to be? How funky is it going to be? How much bread is there going to be? Like, who knows? So it's really nice. And I've seen Cocktail, I think it's like Pouring Ribbons. Yeah, Pouring Ribbons in the East Village, famous cocktail bar, does that with their cocktail. So. Well, this poured with a beautiful, wonderful head, showing beautiful, visual of Saison. This beer comes in a kind of like lemony, light gold color, has a medium haze to it. Fluffy, huge white head, sort of like that traditional like Belgian thing just popping out of the glass. Otherwise, just a very pretty looking beer on there. But anyway. Oh yeah. I get that kind of signature kind of, what kind of Brett note is that? This is the Hill Farmstead kind of one. The Hill Farmstead one is sort of like cured lemons. It's got a nice acidity to it, but also like a minerality. A nice kind of like
7-minute timer stopped on the
Alexa, stop. Jesus Christ, sorry. I set a timer for the what did I set a timer for? Anyway, so oh, that's for dinner. There you go. So yeah, it's got that kind of like light kind of citrusy note, but a little bit of minerality, a little bit of this kind of like pond kind of thing. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like Brett is one of the harder ones to describe because it's really so much based on people's experiences of what they've smelled out in the wilderness and stuff, nature and stuff. It's not very distinct to like what you find in your kitchen. Really, is that? Yeah. But like, there's some wetness to it. There's a little bit of like that kind of like dirty Brett funk. A little bit of that, like. Where it's like almost like slightly like not pleasing kind of like it's not too far off from like wet like blanket, like it's like this kind of like stinky thing that sort of left out a little bit, makes sense. Cheers. Dog, wet dog. I don't know. Nice, pretty beer. Yeah, don't know what this can. Nice. This is very much a light Saison with a little bit of bread on it. Let's see. So, wow. That's why I love Saison. There's so much to say about this beer. It gets a little bit of like this peppery note to it, a little bit of like spice. So it's like almost got this hint of like turmeric driving in there. And there's a minty thing that comes in. So like maybe the Azacca's offering this kind of like bright kind of sprucey note to it. They offer notes of lemon on this one, but a little bit of like almost like an egg white kind of thing dancing there. It Saison. It's got a little bit of like white bread to it, a little bit of cracker. It's very light maltiness, beautiful carbonation on it, wonderful effervescence. And a nice, again, the combination of a kind of like earthier kind of spice, again, like turmeric kind of thing dancing in there, along with some white pepper notes, yeah. And then a little bit of that dryness, like it's extra dry along with like Saison being dry, but also like almost made the Brett helps that. And there's a little bit of funk on the back end, like this kind of like, what kind of funk is that? It's like a little bit plasticky, like styrofoamy kind of funk. But it's got a beautiful kind of like just lemon note that rides in there. And then as you drink it more, there's this wonderful kind of like tropical, what is that, like cantaloupe? Yeah, there's like a cantaloupe-y kind of the Azacca playing in there. Like a beautiful like green raw melon thing. Like watermelon rind. Tons of stuff going on here. Awesome beer. Thank you so much, Corey. Definitely in the mood for this. And like Saison week, wow, like doing Brett Saisons. Killer. It's certainly like more traditional Saison than like, again, my brain goes to Hill Farmstead when I think of like, you know, lightly breaded Saisons. That beer is definitely more lacto forward, so like a little bit more sour. Way more sour, sorry. And those beers are a little more streamlined. This is a little bit more rugged and rustic. This shows signs of like being more of like Saison, and then a little bit dry hopping, and that Brett plays in there. So, yeah, again, breweries do their own thing, and I love it. Fun beer. Love it. 95. This is Boyd's from Birds Fry South. Until next time, guys, cheers. Thank you so much, Corey. Until next time, cheers. Later.